Sometimes I gotta use it as a deadly defense. Just a force in the street codes. I told y'all not to fuck up. King G isn't playing.
Hood of a car as gunmen opened fire on the driver.
Innocent victims caught in the crossfire of suspected gang members.
They are behind some of the most violent crimes on the streets of Metro Detroit.
But police and federal law enforcement agencies know where they operate, and they're working to take them down.
Tonight, Simon Shaquette takes us inside the fight, only on 7.
Narcotics trafficking, home invasions, carjacking, armed robberies, and murders.
In the heart of the Motor City, they are committing the kinds of crimes that strike fear into the community.
Most of us have been just outraged by how many young people have been caught in the crossfire of gang violence. So many kids, young people, babies. U.S.
Attorney Barbara McQuaid knows what it takes to stop violent gangs, recently charging 2 members of the 6 Mile Cheddar Grove gang in a shooting that killed a 13-year-old girl near a market on Hayes in the middle of the afternoon.
We saw children sitting on the hood of a car as gunmen opened fire on the driver.
26-year-old Edwin Mills and 22-year-old Carlo Wilson, both of Detroit, now in custody for the December 1st shooting that also killed a 21-year-old driver. On nearby Cedar Grove Street near Denby High School, we found gangs are still marking their territory.
They're mostly neighborhood-based gangs, so they'll have a certain territory, certain blocks marked out in the neighborhood, and that becomes, in essence, their turf.
The 6 Mile Cheddar Grove gang, known to rule the area near East McNichols and Kelly, and Houston Whittier and Chalmers. Other top gangs on the radar of the FBI Violent Crime Task Force include the 6 Mile Bloods and Knockout Boys on the east side, the Latin Counts and Serenos in southwest Detroit. But gangs like Rollin' 60s Crips aren't afraid to recruit north of 8 Mile in places like West Bloomfield or even over the border in Windsor. The 7 Mile Bloods previously finding young soldiers of their own in bordering East Point.
Their territory is very sacred to them, and the only people really allowed in that territory are their gang members.
Recently retired FBI supervisor Andy Bartnowak knows the streets better than anyone. He's seen how gang members can also threaten anyone unknowingly passing through gang territory, simply to stop for gas, making this more of a regional problem.
Cocaine, marijuana, heroin, pills, it's the lure of the easy money.
I talk with gang members who tell me things like, I don't expect to live past the age of 25, so I'm going to get what I can when I can.
In the case of most modern Detroit street gangs, it seems pride becomes a powerful motivator for violence.
It could be as simple as an insult between one gang or another through social media or through an exchange of words, and then it results in usually some kind of violent act.
But now the internet also serves as a tool for police and federal agents.
Social media and cell phone data have become a prosecutor's best friend. Frequently, gang members will pose with a gun in one hand, cash in another, and the name of their gang, on a T-shirt.
Yet, now more than ever, there are signs of hope. Homicides have declined since 2013. So far, there's been a nearly 50% reduction of shootings in the 9th precinct in the past year. Tougher sentences are a huge factor.
The first armed carjacking brings an extra 5 years if you use a gun. The second armed carjacking brings an extra 25 years. So then those get stacked. So if you have somebody who's done 4 or 5, they might be looking at a 100-year sentence.
Also reaching young people through a program called Ceasefire. Mayor Duggan, Chief Craig, and Wayne County Prosecutor Kim Worthy call in gang members on parole or probation.
And we bring in someone who we call the moral voice of the community, maybe the mother of a murder victim, to talk about the impact that this violence is having on our community.
Simon Shaquette, 7 Action News.
You were born in Detroit, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, but when I look at the hood or whatever like that, I basically look at it as we all implants over there. You come from the Van Dyke area. Talk a little bit about being in that Van Dyke area.
My Van Dyke area, I was like really young. That was like my elementary school days. So I know a lot of people from over there, but it's from the younger days, you know what I'm saying? Like, we moved from that area when I was like in 5th grade. Mm-hmm. So it's really, like I said, just younger years, early years, elementary.
Sandbox, in other words.
Yeah, free lunch.
Okay. Okay. And when I spoke on you when I covered you in the earlier, and people still checking for that episode. You all can go back and check that out. And in that one, I described me and your relationship. Like I was saying in the thing, like I didn't pull up trying to check what Chuck's hustle was or, you know, that type of nature or whatever. We just had a natural, you know, brotherhood or whatever. But in your opinion, how would you describe me and your relationship?
Oh, you my dog, you know. You from the 6 Mile area. That's where I met you at, you know. I seen you was doing your thing. I was doing my thing. And it just was a good vibe when I met you. I basically know, well, not your whole family, well, a lot of your family. And we was cool too. Like we used to be on 6 Mile next door to your aunties, and they was real cool people. Got along real good with them. Always had fun over their house.
Right.
So.
Okay. When you look at the game, you know, you had a lot of young hustlers doing what I call the kingpin era. You was one of the guys that was out there young doing your thing, but the kingpins basically took over that era, so I sort of put us in the 90s because by this time all of them done moved out of the way. When did crack and cocaine and the popularity of the hustle come to your attention?
Probably like my teenage years, like 86,
Okay.
80, 87, up in that area.
Okay.
Yeah, they have a lot of crack houses going and all that kind of stuff.
Okay. Yeah, back in those days, you had one person may have 15 crack houses. Like crack houses was like the theme back in those days. But when you look at the headline stories, because there's a lot of people from that era, they seem to think we exclusively follow them like that. We see the headlines, we know the stories, we very familiar with what's going on. But how did you view like that kingpin era?
Yeah, this like where you know, I know a lot of G's over here. You know, I'm personally from 6 Mile in Oakland. My brother from like 6 in Anglin. My people from like my cousin Odell, he like 6 in Goldburn. But you know what I'm saying, 6 Mile runs a long way, so we all 6 Mile. You know what I'm saying, trying to show y'all some highlights of the area. They go a dope thing.
Oh, we missed it.
Yeah, we missed him. Let me see, we lurking trying to see if we can find some hoes out here as usual.
Right. I think it might be too early in the day. You know, the hoes come out at night.
Yeah, what time is it?
What is it? 11:53? Yeah, 11:53 in the morning.
Yeah, we only ride luxury. We riding the caddy again. Show them the symbol one time, you know.
Caddy? Yeah, baby.
That's how we do it up here in the Motor City, baby. You know what I'm saying? That's how it goes down.
Yeah, well, again.
Uh-oh, the thing's complicating.
We got something.
We got some action.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
Yeah, we still fooling, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of interesting when you ride and look at all this shit.
Stop. The DOT slow as hell, y'all.
Yeah, don't never catch the bus in Detroit. Them bitches take hours. You better get you a whip. Ain't
For
no
real.
subways here.
Is it?
No money
We
train.
got one?
No.
Nah.
6 Mile Cheddar Grove,
Bitch. The whole mob out here. The whole mob. Niggas don't want to be on camera, cover your face up.
You guys talking about us, you ain't doing shit.
I know that, I ain't talking. Bro, y'all get it in, bro. Stop talking.
Bro, you see me right here, bro.
Bro, do you want to do something, bro?
Bro, you see me right here.
You not doing nothing.
You not doing shit.
Bro, bitch, let me hit that. Let me hit hands then. If you sneak me, I'ma play you, bro. If you sneak me, I'ma play you.
Shoot that money. On these sides, we out here. Shoot that money. Whole team out here. We eating. We got bands. Everybody out here. Shout out to on the west end. We climbing.
We climbing. Yo.
Here. They trying to do shit.
I play, nigga.
Nigga trying to catch me off guard.
My bad.
Bro, we just about there. You not
My bad, bro.
not about that.
I did what I had to do.
Shoot. Out here, nigga. 6 Mile Cheddar Grove. On these sides.